And you have to ask yourself, are you prepared for that as a man, getting yanked back and dealing with all that psychological fallout and all this that could happen on your side and her side if you really love her and seeing her go through all that. Other things. Well, traveling out here is a lot different. So you have to be prepared for that too. If you're just your average person, like if you've never drove a little reckless, or if you didn't grow up in like a New York City or like in Ohio or in Alaska where there's snow and you're good at driving, and if you're just your average driver, you're going to be in for a real shock when you get here because Asian streets are like complete anarchy. If you know how to ride a bike, you need to be prepared for it too because nothing you can experience in the USA is like driving a bike in Asia. There's a lot of horn honking. There's just most of the driving is pretty docile, but it's heavy traffic. But the aggression is like really hit or miss. And most importantly, you just need to be prepared for like the level of traffic that you're going to experience. Like, you know, in the West, we look at something and it's like a mile or two away. And we think, oh, you know, a mile a minute. It'll take me 2 to 4 to 5 minutes to get there. Here, if something's a mile or two away or 2 or 3 kilometers away, whatever metric system you want to use, well, it's probably going to take you more like 20 to 30 or 40 minutes to get there depending on traffic conditions. There's also a thing out here where like, I don't know, I guess it makes sense. I don't know, I'm not the government, but like they have a lot of traffic enforcers that come out when like traffic's busy or whatever, and I don't know, it's open to debate if the traffic enforcers help or not. But I mean, I'm personally on the side of the fence that I really don't think the traffic enforcers help. I think they slow traffic down, but whatever. So you're gonna have to get used to that too, because when you're sitting in your vehicle, you know, it might be a green light, but you can't see the enforcer, and everybody's blasting their horn, and really there's an enforcer there just trying to do his job. Prices on vehicles out here are absolutely insane. Like, I don't know, I hear different things like import duties or whatever. Like a Toyota Hilux, which is basically the same vehicle as like a Ford Ranger or Chevy Colorado if you're from the States, is just a ridiculous amount of money, like for the truck that you get. I mean, it's basically a Toyota, not a Tundra, but the next step down from the Toyota Tundra. And it's like the Asian version of the Toyota whatever that we see in the States. Like, even like scooters out here, we call them scooters, we call them scooters in the US, motorbikes out here. Like the prices, like for like a Honda, you would think because we're close to Japan, the price of these motorbikes would be less money. Like a Honda 160cc scooter, motorbike, whatever, it's going to be like $3,000 secondhand. If you buy it new, I don't even know how much they are new. They're probably $3,500, $4,000 new. At the end of the day, you're only getting a 160cc liquid cooled motor and a metal frame and a bunch of plastic. So I'm not sure what that's all about either. There's some places that sell Chinese bikes, which are recommendable, depending on who you ask. You know, you just have to be all prepared for this stuff, because when you look at it on paper, it seems excellent. But if you come out here and start living in a city and you think you're just going to take taxis around and stuff, like, I can assure you that gets boring like really quick. Like you're going to have to get a car or a motorbike or both to really like see the city and get to know the city and learn the city. You just don't want to be a schmuck like sitting out here like a duck. This is going to be your new home is what you're saying. That's why you're watching this video. So you're going to have to know the country and these cities like the back of your hand. When you go to airports, the airport experience is totally different. So, you know, in the States, anywhere in the West, you come in the airport, they check. First off, you can walk in the airport non-molested. Here in the airports, they got to check your ticket and check your ID before you even get in the door from the unloading area. Then there's no self-kiosk machines in most of the airports. Some of the airports, very, very few, have kiosks where you can do it yourself, which makes sense in 2024, but most of the airports don't. And the ones that do, most of the time the kiosks are broken or like one will work. And it has a massive line. So the second thing, when you the point I'm going to make is you got to show your ID a bunch of times with your boarding pass. It's just a crazy amount of times. So we got one time at the door to even get in the airport. You got another time when you go to check in because they don't have kiosks, so you got to check in again with a human and wait in that line. So the whole airport process is going to be a lot more slow too. A lot of waiting, a lot of line. You got a line at the door to show your ticket. You got a line when you check in at the check-in counter. Then you got to go through security and show your ID and ticket again and clear security. And then you got to board on the plane and show your ID and ticket again. So that's going to be 4 times. If you're international, you're going to show one more time. When you hit immigration, it'll be 5 times. So you need to prepare yourself for that mentally. The planes out here are not going to be like planes from the US. Every single plane, unless you're flying on Philippine Airlines, is going to have, all Cebu airline flights are going to be like similar to the Frontier, the Spirit flights with the pre-reclined seats or whatever. Like there's no first class, there's no reclining seats, no real cushion seats. It's just like a, I call it like a fake cushion, a Frontier airline, a Spirit cushion, which really doesn't matter because you're not flying that far. Like it only takes you an hour or two to navigate the entire country from north to south. But just to give you guys a heads up, like if you have back problems or whatever, that's what it is. A lot of transit, you're going to be taking buses and vans, which on a scale of comfort compared to the West, I'd give it 2 out of 10. Hard seats, bad suspension, just tough. You know, you got to be tough to make it through that if you're from the West, because honestly, even me, like it just gets insane that the infrastructure and the systems are not upgraded here a little bit to make it more comfortable on everybody, because honestly, at the end of the day, the powers that be could, but they don't want to because they just want to extract the maximum amount of profits they can get before everything breaks. Ferries, you're going to have to get used to that. Ferries are hot. Ferry rides can be long or short, and ferry rides can also be loud. You're also going to have to get used to this phone signal thing. Like, I don't see a lot of videos talk about the phones. Most of the time, like 50-50 hit or miss if you have cell phone signal. Like, you'll have full bar coverage, and your phone just will stop working with no signal, and you'll just have to like walk around like it's crazy. Like you'll have mapped out in your head like where on the ground has signal, where doesn't. It's just really weird. Like almost every tower I've lived in has full bars, but you have there's no packets being transferred. It's weird. Another thing is some of these cities, it'll say 5G on your phone, and the router, the access point rather that it's connected to, the access point is 5G, but the backbone, hard backbone coming into that access point is only 4G capable. It doesn't have the bandwidth, so it's bottlenecking at the Cat 6 cable or Cat. I don't even know if they're running Cat 6 cable. They're probably still running Cat 5 into this stuff. They're bottlenecked out, so the phone is triggered to say that it's running 5G, but it's really only running 4G because it's bottlenecking at the Cat 5 cable or whatever. But they're using 5G access points. It's really weird. If you work remote, or if you're thinking of working remote, don't expect to run your Wi-Fi hotspot on your phone, or if thinking of buying a Wi-Fi hotspot, because that won't work. Don't expect to come over here into an Airbnb and run off their Wi-Fi, because most of their Wi-Fis are only 50 megabits per second. If you do come over here and you're thinking about long-term rental or booking an Airbnb, for a long-term rental, you're going to have to pay about $50 a month for half terabit up and down. And that's 500 megabits a second up and down. For an Airbnb, you want to message them and ask them for what their data transfer rate is. If their data transfer rate is a half G up and down, you need to get them to send you a screenshot of the data transfer rate, so that if it's not true and accurate when you get there, you can get your money back from Airbnb. So all of these points that I'm making about whether you really want to come here or not is kind of leading me to my next point, which is, as you can see, like there's a lot of hassle and a lot of headache in Asia compared to the West. In the West, you could basically drive your car while you're sleeping. You can depend on 1 gigabit internet up and down all day, every day. You can depend on the electricity always being on. You can depend on always having your cell phone signal. You can depend on Walmart always being there open however many hours a day. I don't think it's 24 anymore, but whatever. And you can kind of be on autopilot knowing all these things all day. Whereas in Asia, you're always kind of jumping around on your toes like a circus monkey or something, because you go down, you got to plan. Oh, wait, you can't make the call because now you don't have signal. So you got to walk over here to get signal. Okay, I walked over here, now I got signal and made that call, but I'm 10 minutes behind schedule. Okay, let me go to the supermarket and get Madame's. Oh, wait, they don't sell the hair clip here. I got to go up the third floor. Now I'm 30 minutes behind schedule. You see what I'm saying? So it's a lot more bobbing and weaving and zigzagging around just to get your simple day-to-day stuff done than it is compared to the US. Another thing is like ordering out here. They don't have Amazon, but they have Shopee. Shopee's cool, but Shopee is like wide open to scams. Like, I've seen all kinds of scams on Shopee. I've had people send me, like, I ordered shoes and somehow these people knew I wasn't home. I think some of the delivery drivers are in on the scam. Like, they waited to send me the shoes till like a day or two after I left. I ordered them like 5 days before I left, like 2 days before I left. Two days after I left, they sent me the shoes. But a day before that, the Shopee driver dropped something else off. So how did the seller know where I was going or whatever? So I get back. They didn't send shoes. They sent like a little like rosary, like a little religious, some kind of bullshit in the bag, and said, "So sorry, sir. Like, we were out of stock of shoes. Like, we'll send them to." I don't know. They got all kinds of scams. Like, you can buy reviews for Shopee. Like, you can't do that stuff as an Amazon seller. They'll ban you quick because Amazon has the AI and stuff plugged into its system, and it's able to discover all that stuff. Shopee too. Like, a lot of time, like, you can't buy like electronics on Shopee really. Like, on Amazon, you know, you can buy electronics. So, like, basically it's weird because in Asia, you would think that the price, I'll get back to Shopee in a second, but in Asia, you would think that the price of electronics would be less because we're close to China and Japan. But the electronic price, for the most part, is actually way more. Like, I don't know how much a 32-inch Vizio TV costs at Walmart right now in the United States. Buy 32-inch Vizio TV, Walmart. I'm going to look it up on Google right now. But out here, a 32-inch Vizio, I don't know how much the cheapest TV is at Walmart right now. Here we go. 32-inch TV, $128. That's 5,000 pesos. Here, how much is a 32-inch TV right now, Madame? How much does a 32-inch TV cost right now? Like 10K or 15K? 32. 15K. There you go. Now, some of these guys you can find on Facebook, 15K, that's almost $300, so almost triple the price that we pay in the USA. That doesn't make any sense because we're right next to China and Japan. It's just weird. So, like, but you'll find stuff on Shopee and the TV will be like $120 or 5K. But if you order that TV, they'll send you like a different TV, or it's defective or secondhand, but you don't know it. It's an original box. Just weird stuff, weird kinds of scams going on. Never go to Shopee for your electronics. If you're prepared to pay double, triple the price for electronics than you are in USA, like a fridge is going to be like $1,000 or $2,000. Really, the only stuff that's somewhat similar is like laptops, which is also weird because you would think that'd be way more. Phones, like the hard specs on phones, the raw specifications on a phone, processor, RAM, processor, memory, and data storage space, you can get really good deals on phones through brands like Infinix. What are some of the other brands, Madame? Infinix for the phones. Xiaomi, Realme. What else? That's about it. No, that's going to be a very expensive one. But yeah, Xiaomi, Realme, and Infinix, they're going to be some of the big ones. You can get a good phone for like $140. Octa-core processor, 8 to 12 gigs of RAM, 128 or 258 GB. It's not going to be a Samsung. Samsung out here, you're going to pay a lot of money for. So, anyway, there's more stuff like I guess I want to talk about the girls too. Like, if you're the kind of guy, and this does happen, we're probably only to 1 to 5% of relationships. So Todd, I met the woman of my dreams on the internet. She's such a sweet girl. She's the love of my life. We video call 24 hours a day. I've never seen a woman as beautiful as her. She's mesmerizing. She seduces me. She seduces me in every... Sorry, I'm just grabbing some food from Madame. She's seducing me in every way possible. Like wearing short shorts on camera. And maybe even around the house. And she has long, straight hair. Those kind of things. Well, you're more than likely in for a rude awakening when you get here. Almost every single foreigner I've talked to, when they land, oh, she'd pick me up from the airport. She's such a sweet girl. Check back in with them a year or two later. Things were ruined, ended in chaos, all this stuff. She wasn't the person I thought I was. Whatever the story is, I've heard it all. So my advice to you before you come here, guys, is to use your brain, okay? Because the simple fact of the matter is that this beautiful Filipino woman, woman of your dreams you met on the internet, whatever, she obviously met a lot of other people on the internet, okay? And most of the time what I've seen here is that if somebody's not here already, the person will have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people, because most of the people never even come. So if you're one of the people that comes, good for you. But, like, was it really that real to begin with like you thought it was? And the same for the guys, too. A lot of times I see guys that come here and they don't know if the girl's real or not, or what she's going to be like when they get there. So they might have 2 or 3 or 4 girls. So it works on both sides. And I'm telling you, almost every relationship that I see come here that starts out LDRs fail, because LDR is like so phony in 2024, in my opinion. It's just ridiculous. Better to land here single, get a lay of the land. Because there's these videos out there too that are like, oh, your Filipino partner will guide you around and help you when you get here. Like, those videos are a bunch of nonsense too, because like most people that you're meeting are not from the city. And if they are from the city, like if they're online, you need to be really, really careful from a city girl that's online, in my opinion. Not that every city girl online is a bad egg, but come on, man, they live in the city. Like, the options are endless in the city online, because all the guys are looking online first. So you land, you meet a girl from the city or the province, like, you have to have the street smart first, because you're the breadwinner, and protect your asset, which is your liquid resources, right? And if you're just going to land and fall in the arms of this person that you don't even know, and you think they're going to guide you around like a puppy on a leash, you're in for a rude awakening. And it's probably going to end in a lot of pain and a lot of mismanaged money. So, as I said, land single. Get a lay of the land. When you get here, and if you don't listen to me, still do this part. When you get here, or if you want to get to know people online, whatever your little silly plan is, try to get as many numbers as you possibly can. If you really, really want a good relationship, you need to get to know as many people as you possibly can at first, and just simply talk to them. Figure out what they do every day. Figure out how they pay their bills. If they say they're in school and they don't have a job, that's a red flag unless they have a really good reason. And you should investigate that reason to the ends of the earth before you really, really decide on that person. Like financial stuff like that, keep an eye on. Once you get your list of 10, 20, 30, 40, a trillion numbers, however many numbers it is, talk to them, get to know them. I always recommend that you have a type too. Like, don't just talk to every girl you think's hot. Like, do you like girls with short hair or long hair? Do you like girls with glasses or no glasses? Like, You really have to dial in like your type of woman you want. Do you care if she speaks a lot of English or a little English? Are you into tattoos, no tattoos? Like whatever it is, however many parameters you got to put on everything. Establish your type of woman before you come here, or after you come here and you're developing your Rolodex of numbers so that you can dial in like what you would consider the most perfect person you could find. That way you're going to be the happiest person that you can be. Because if you're upset and you're not happy, your beautiful Filipina partner's going to feel it too. What's wrong? Whoa, Madame almost just died. So if you're happy every day with her and this and that, then that's going to make her happy too. I hear this a lot from Westerners, and it's just what I'm about to say, and my opinion is complete nonsense because it doesn't apply to the Philippines. And that is, happy wife is happy life. That's wrong. So what you're telling me is that all day I have to work to make this woman happy just so I can be happy too? That's absolutely insane. I don't have to sit here and entertain Madame. She's right here, by the way. She's just off camera. There she is. I don't have to sit here and work to entertain Madame every day just for me to be happy. Nah. If I'm happy and I'm doing my thing, she's going to see that and she's going to be happy because of that. So this whole Western happy wife, happy life thing is silly. And you guys have to focus on yourself and bettering yourself every day. And that will make them happy to see that. If you're sitting around depressed and trying to ask her what's wrong all day and all this other stuff, that's going to make her different. So just when you get here, like I say, my advice is to come here single and get a lay of the land. You need to know these areas. You need to know how things operate. You need to know pricing and develop your contacts before you settle down with a partner. Let's continue to talk about, is this right for you? Living areas, which I will do full videos on these. You have province, you have cities. Obviously, if it's your first time here, you're most likely 99 out of 100 people. Let me get some water too, please, sweetheart. 99 out of 100 people are not going to come here and just fly into the province with the beautiful princess of their dreams, straight out of a laboratory designed by whoever designed the most beautiful woman on the planet. They don't even know the province. So they're going to be in a city, even if it's a smaller city. If you're in a city, you have two choices, okay? You can live in the city, and when you go down, it's going to be dingy and dirty, and you're going to be bombarded with Viagra dealers, flower sellers, screen protector sellers, dogs wanting food, kitties wanting food. People are going to be coming up to you trying to sell you fake watches, fake iPhones, fake pairs of shoes. Ringing my bell for rope water. Ring my bell. Salamat. They're going to be trying to sell you everything when you live in the city part of the city. Unless you know words like this. Wala ko'y kwarta! And you just yell at it in their face. Then they'll go away. That means no more money. Madame got a little, shall we say, aroused when I said that. Wala ko'y kwarta! Anyway, so you can live in a hotel or an apartment or whatever in the middle of the city and go down and then smell like rats, dead roaches, sewers. Everything is dingy, dirty, nasty. You got people trying to sell you everything I just said, everything under the sun that you don't need, you never needed. Towels, they'll try to sell you towels, whatever. You got a taxi driver, you try to cross the street, a taxi driver will pull in front of you so you can't cross the street. He's, sir, you need no, I don't need a taxi. Get out of my face. I'll call you if I need one. Everything when you live in a city. Or you can live, if you really want to live in Manila, I recommend you live in BGC if you're a foreigner. Or if you want to live in Cebu, you live in IT Park. Take your pick. BGC is going to be a more diverse international crowd. The layout of the area is a little bigger. It's definitely bigger than IT Park. And therefore, the amount of footsteps required is going to be probably 4x what it is in IT Park. But you are in Manila, whatever that means. Something else to consider when you're choosing if you want to live in BGC or IT Park is the airport itself. Like Ninoy, is that how you say that airport? Ninoy? I just call it Ninoy. I don't know. Manila Airport is the most stressful airport on the planet. Like, you can't even compare it to the other worst airport you've been to. So you have to ask yourself this question: do I want to really live in BGC? Because when I go to fly, and if you're in the Philippines, you'll be flying very frequently, more likely than not. Do I really want to go through Manila Airport? Well, for me, the answer is absolutely not. I never want to see that airport again in my life unless I absolutely have to. Mactan's totally different. It's a first world airport. Like, it rivals almost every airport on the planet except like maybe Shanghai International in Singapore, and I'd say maybe a few others, but just not really the scale of the airport, but just the level of cleanliness and the efficiency of it. And if Mactan got the checkout kiosk in there, I mean, it'd be a big help. Some things you guys will like when you get here. You guys will definitely like the hospitality. You guys will like the cost of food. If you smoke, you guys will like the cost of cigarettes and vape. You guys will like, generally speaking, like the entertainment. I mean, it's really hard to have a dull moment here. I mean, you could literally come here and entertain yourself for the rest of your life. Whereas in the West, like, I mean, I don't know. It's harder to access things in the West. Like, you might have to fly further. Your state might have access to some different things. But anyway, I think that's the end of the video for now. And I hope this helps a lot of you guys for the years to come.